I'm sure all of you here in the audience are here to celebrate with one of our graduates. I think I speak for all of us when I say, thank you. Thank you for listening to us cry and complain and repeat lab values, signs and symptoms, and interventions until your ears bled. Thank you for quizzing us on diseases you couldn't pronounce. Thank you for handling some, or in some cases all, of our household responsibilities. Thank you for taking the kids off our hands for a few hours so we could study. Thank you for putting up with our severe anxiety at test times and our hangovers, emotional or otherwise, the next day. Thank you for understanding when we had to miss your game, your school trip, or your birthday party. Thank you for loving us at our most unlovable. We promise it will be worth it. I would also like to extend a heartfelt thank you to the faculty and administration for providing us with the education and resources we needed to succeed as nursing students, as well as encouragement and enthusiasm for the practice of nursing. As for any whining or crying that may have occurred, we're sorry about that. And while we're on the topic, Mrs. Mack, I'd like to present you with this Golden Globe Award for your fantastic theatrical experiences in the sim lab. I'll give it to you later. 4 years ago, I never could have imagined I would be standing here today as class valedictorian. I was a brand new single mother with a lot of fear. I knew I needed a career to be able to take care of my daughter. I prayed on it. And I decided to become a nurse, like my mother and her mother before her. As my good friend Paul Kling says, if God is your co-pilot, you're in the wrong seat. I took heed of that advice. I made a plan. I did my best, and I left the results up to God. I started taking classes when my baby was 10 weeks old. I've been out of school for over 10 years. I started here in the trailers right behind this building. Taking the high school level algebra, I failed 3 times before finally passing with a D to graduate high school. I was scared of math, but I worked hard at it. Much to my surprise, I got an A. This proved to me that I could do it. It inspired confidence in me to continue to put my best effort into school. As my grandmother likes to say, anything worth doing is worth doing well. I tried my best and put in work on a consistent basis. As a result, I stand here today. I can't take all the credit for my scholastic achievement, however. My family and friends played a vital role in my success. My long-suffering friends, who loved me enough to tell me the truth about myself, and whose encouragement and faith I relied on to keep me moving forward despite my insecurities. My father, from whom I inherited the gifts of memory, focus, and a strong work ethic. I remember being very young and coming downstairs for school in the early morning to see my dad at the kitchen table, already dressed in his shirt and tie, his work all around him, having obviously been up and working for several hours. Thanks, Dad. I was paying attention, and I appreciate more than ever the value of your hard work. My mother, from whom I inherited my empathy, critical thinking skills, and my independent spirit. My mother is my hero and my champion. I've heard it said that you have never really lived until you've done something for someone who can never repay you. Mom, you have done this for me 100-fold. Your unwavering support has made all the difference. You have helped me to create a life in which I can do those same things for my own child. I will be forever grateful for your example and your unconditional love. My daughter, Sadie. You have inspired me to reach out of my comfort zone since I first held you in my arms. You inspire me every day to do my best. I try to be the kind of woman I hope you will become because your eyes watch my every move, and I know that what I do speaks much more loudly than what I say. I did this for you, and I thank God for you every day. And last, but certainly not least, my classmates. We have done so much more than just study together. We have laughed together, cried together, leaned on each other, told each other secrets, and shared our lives for the past 2 years. We've learned so much about each other and from each other. For example, Amanda's crazy memory devices which are completely bizarre and somehow very effective. And the fact that no matter how valid or intelligent it may be, Molly will preface every single question with the statement, "This might be a dumb question." I also think it's safe to say that someday, somehow, Dana is definitely going to cure someone of something. There are still some things left to learn. For example, what's Leanne's last name? Because it was different yesterday and it'll probably change again tomorrow. And finally, what I think is probably the most pressing mystery of all, how does one correctly pronounce B-I-N-A-L? The most important lessons learned for me have been the stories we shared about the diseases that have affected and devastated each of our lives. Grandparents with strokes, Alzheimer's and dementia, mothers with cancer, fathers with heart disease, children with autism, struggles with infertility, brothers with mental illness, sisters with the disease of addiction, friends lost to suicide.